Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. It's a bit wet in Lagos, drizzling, so to speak. Hopefully your part of the country is maybe dry. But if you're majorly farmers there, then you won't mind the kind of drizzling that we're getting. Okay, but there's much work to be done. So our guest this morning is Honorable Obi Agwocha. Yeah, I tried my best. Honorable Obi Agwocha. He's a member of the House, he's of Labour Party. He's a member of the House of Reps representing Ekwano Umuahia North and Umuahia South Federal Constituency of Abia State. He joins us on the road, as it were. Good morning to you, Honorable Agwocha.
Good morning, sir, and good morning to your listeners.
Indeed, thank you very much for being available for us. We know how very tight this is. We just wanted your comments, on the election that was successfully concluded, that led to the emergence of Honorable Tajuddin Abbas.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe your comments on how things went.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm very happy to be with you on the show today. I'm on the road, so thanks for accommodating me, even though that I'm on the road. The elections went well yesterday. It was a resounding endorsement of the leadership now under Tajuddin Abbas and Right Honorable Ben Carlo. For the first time in the National Assembly history, all political parties, APC, PDP, Labour Party, APGA, and others otherwise minded, we came together almost in a collaboration and of the 360 votes that was available present at the National Assembly yesterday, only 6 votes of APC went otherwise for the election of Tajuddin Abbas, whereas he received about 354 votes and 6 votes went otherwise. And then for Benjamin Carlo, the entirety of the House returned him unopposed. So it was a fantastic collaboration, regardless of the political ideologies, regardless of the political ideologies, we were able to come together in unison. Mm-hmm. And that unity is what we expect that will happen going forward under the leadership of Tajuddin Abbas.
Indeed. And well, I suppose a sort of an adjunct question is, how are you feeling now, now that you're among your honorable colleagues? And I ask this in relation to the fact that your electoral victory in Abia was something of an upset, because you actually, it was an upset in the sense that you actually defeated the PDP incumbent Speaker of the Abia State House of Assembly, who happened to be a son of former governor of the state, Chinedum, Oji. That was a feat. Everybody has attributed that to the Obi phenomenon, but tell me about that yourself. How do you pull off such a feat?
The Obi phenomenon played a major role in my election. There's no doubt about it. But the same love that people show for Peter, they also showed me, Obi Agwocha, and they also showed my gubernatorial candidate, now governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Oti, in the wise that we had planned, we put forth our plan, and the people who have suffered severe hardship under the previous governments of Abia State, our messages was quite resounding, and they elected myself, elected Dr. Alex Oti respectively. Now, but going forward, beyond that, I'm very spiritual. I believe that God showed up in Abia State and showed His grace and righteousness upon us that enabled us to move mountains that people never thought would have been moved. But we were able to move it only simply because God's love was with us, and He gave us that power to be able to do that. So for now, Abia State is better off for it. New narrative, new vision that is more focused, people who are more determined, more effective, people who are not going to be, in power for the, pre-notions of, taking public wealth off for their own private selves. So we are now coming to serve the people to ensure that we alleviate poverty, create a dynamic economic growth, not just in Abia State, but at national human capital development and infrastructure development. So those are the things that we're working now to achieve in Abia State.
Indeed. Thank you for going there, because I was going to ask you about that. I know you must have a plan. After all, you campaigned. And now you've arrived. And, I wonder how your plan, now you're going to have to understand that you have two constituencies. One, they're your colleagues, your legislative colleagues. You're going to be part of them. But then your base, in Ikuano, my Igbo might not be as good as I want. Ikuano, Umuahia North, and Umuahia South, federal constituency. Tell me about that. You must have aspirations, you must have dreams for your people. And at the same time, you're going to be a good team player, I imagine, in the House.
Well, absolutely. We do have, just like you said, we have the plan to be able to engage for our people effectively. Now, the National Assembly is not just going to be my plan. Even if it's going to be my sponsored bill, I will still need the collaboration of 359 other members to ensure that it comes through, the bill sees the light of the day. Now, but for the immediate aspects of what we are going to do, it is my belief that the National Assembly should concern themselves for now with the issue of subsidy removal. Because subsidy, as we know, now has the general consensus. What I mean by that, APC talks about removal of subsidy, PDP talks about removal of subsidy, and we, the Labour Party, are talking about removal of subsidy. So it would appear there's a general consensus amongst the political class to end the subsidy regimen as we have now. Subsidy was supposed to help the Nigerian people, especially the poor, but over time, subsidy created a perverse inducement to the ruling class. A lot of people gamed it. It became fraudulent. So it is now the role of National Assembly to help the executive in terms of how we're going to roll out the palliatives to cushion the severe hardship that Nigerians are facing. And at the same time, investigate, have inquiry as to how the subsidy regimen has been applied. Even if we don't go all the way back, but we should go back at least to the time of Jonathan in 2012, when he wanted to remove it. The subsidy regiments now, nobody knows who's saying the truth or not saying the truth, but there's a lot of fraud in the subsidy regime, so that we need to unearth to ensure that the subsidy regiment is no longer corrupt, but that to have transparency and accountability going forward. Now, there are a lot of monies that have been there's a lot of monies that were said to have been borrowed by the previous administration, the $800 million for palliative. We need to know where that money is.
Indeed. And well, as you said, you said you really hope, or you'd prefer for the National Assembly to really stay on this subsidy issue in these times. But you also observe that just about every presidential... Yes.
How soon the APC and Labour Party in terms of that is that we have a plan. If it was Labour Party administration, we would have a plan better in terms of the rollout to cushion the effects of the hardship on the people. And secondly, we want to... yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you just said there that had it been your party, you would have planned better. Did I hear you correctly?
If it was the P2B administration, P2B talked effectively about removing subsidy. Now, if it was P2B administration or Labour government administration, I think we would have done better in terms of the rollout of the palliatives initially before the end of the subsidy regimen. But now we're trying to play catch up. Doesn't mean that I do not. It doesn't mean that what the leadership currently is doing is wrong. Yes, the most important thing that we all support subsidy removal, but what is important now is the rollout aspect of the palliative, so that people do not suffer hardship as we are suffering. And we also need to look at procurement. Procurement, alongside subsidy, is what is holding Nigeria down from achieving its fullest potential as a nation. All over the country have close to about 60,000 abandoned projects simply because of our procurement laws. We need to be able to take a look at it remove some of the bottlenecks that are within our procurement laws to ensure that when we offer or award a contract to somebody, at least we should increase the mobilization to that contract, moving it from 20% to up to 70%. Because the 20%, by the time you sign the contract and the contractor is able to go to the site, the contractor is coming back again for variation. And by the time he even engages the contract fully, then he would have done about 3 or 4 variations that will be more than the actual contract award. So we need to look at that effectively too, so that when our people go to site, that they are given adequate provisions for that contract to be completed, at least at a milestone of 80 to 90%. So that all these abandoned projects everywhere will no longer be there, dragging down our economy. Indeed.
And so as you're saying, accountability is going to be, key. That yeah. As you know, is the that is the focus of the ruling government, the ruling party. This whole matter of accountability, things are not going to be the same as they used to be, and that is something that you are happy to join and be a part of. Now, you've spoken about subsidy and also all these interventions, palliatives, as some also call them. But those, important as they are not actually, that's not the end all. There's so much that no doubt you would have planned for and that you had in mind. So I was wondering, according to your list, because every Nigerian, you don't even need to be an honorable member to have a list of things that you would wish fixed. What are the other key things? Maybe from the perspective of the Labour Party, the ruling party had a roadmap, so you could pick from that roadmap. What are those things that you hope to lend your shoulder to from the APC agenda for the country?
Well, I can only speak for myself as a legislator.
Yes,
I'm not going to be confrontational simply because I'm in opposition. If there are things that are good that the ruling party are doing that we can collaborate on to achieve for the greater interest of the Nigerian people, please count me in. But where also that I can also bring to bear different ideas constructively in opposition to what the ruling party may do, then I will also do that. My job is to ensure that at the end of the day, that my constituents, they matter above every other consideration, that Nigerians also matter above every other consideration. Our people have suffered a whole lot economically. We've suffered a whole lot from insecurity, from poverty, from unemployment. These are critical issues that we need to address. As of today, we're sitting close to about 42% unemployment. And it's projected again by World Bank that by 2024, it will be 44% unemployment. You're not even talking about the underemployment. Then you're also talking about our debt portfolio. President Buhari must have left close to about 80 trillion naira to the current president. How are we going to service that debt, knowing that 60% of our revenue, 96% of our revenue inflow goes to servicing the debt?
Yeah.
How are we going to lift people away from poverty? How are we going to create opportunities? How are we, like my principal will always say, moving from consumption to production? How are we also going to tackle issues of, depressed economic growth? Human capital development is not at the peak that it's supposed to be, even despite every effort to improve our educational system. And then infrastructure development. Nigeria is one country right now cannot even boast of $100 billion of infrastructure basket, either to improve our power sector, our rail sector, So there are a whole lot of things that we now need to come together across political party to discuss with the ruling party as of today, and then to ensure that the Nigerian people are the beneficiaries of all these great things to happen. Indeed. If Nigeria works well, it's not working well for APC, not working well for PDP or Labour Party, it works well for the entirety of the Nigerian people.
Indeed. And I don't know, I was reading in the news, I don't know if it was your good self or another colleague of yours from LP who, after a meeting with the president, I don't know if you attended that meeting, had said that, you know what, I don't have any problem, aligning with the policies of the executive, the president, because he probably was looking at say little difference, that kind of a thing. So, and I relate that to when you said that, look, I may be in opposition, but I'm not gonna be unnecessarily confrontational. So it's like I wonder if I'm accurate in saying that so far you see something of an enabling environment in there for people, for politicians, parliamentarians to come together and work, as you just pointed out, not necessarily for their parties alone, but for the entirety of Nigerians. Were you part of that meeting with the president?
Yes, but I was part of the team that met with the president. And like I said, we as the National Assembly, we've demonstrated that yesterday by the way and manner we voted. We are all political parties, including Labour Party, all members of Labour Party, all members of PDP, and every other political party otherwise joined in a resounding endorsement of a good man, Abbas. Abbas is a good man beyond being an APC man. He's a man that has common sense. He's a man that has compassion and empathy. He's also a man that you feel good in his company, where when you're discussing with him intellectually, he tries to draw the very best of your thought, and he listens.
Okay.
And he has the right temperament. And I think that is what informed.
Okay, speaking about President Tinubu now.
Regardless of your political party, you vote for him. Sir?
I said you were referring to President Tinubu now.
Hello?
Okay, talking about listening, a listening person.
No, I'm talking about Tajuddin Abbas.
Tajuddin Abbas, the Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes, the Honorable Speaker. So,
okay.
So we have come together to collaborate, to work together as a team.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that we are ready to put up constructive opposition. That we will not.
Of course.
But for today, we have come together to work across political divide and to work with whichever government is in power right now. We have had our elections. Matters are in court, but we are a country of rule and order. So that even if the court decides otherwise, that the president is no longer going to be president, that is for the courts to make a determination. But for me as a legislator, I have gone through an election. I am now not talking about party politics, but I'm talking about the well-being of the Nigerian people. So we need to govern.
Okay.
We need to govern, and that's what I intend to do.
Indeed. And speaking as an LP, as a Labour Party man, well spoken. Now, one moment, Honorable. Mr. George has called in from Lagos here. Let's listen to his call. Good morning, Mr. George.
Thank you.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning.
And, good morning to the Honorable Member of House of Representatives. Uncle Yori.
Thank you. Good morning, George.
Yes. The elections at the National Assembly yesterday, I was highly impressed, especially that of the House of Representatives. You know, it is generally believed that the members of the House of Reps are younger and tend to be belligerent in attitude, but they showed even a better maturity than the Senate. You know, the Senate is composed of people who are older and perceived to be more mature. But the contestation in the Senate was more than that in the House of Representatives. And listening to your guests, they seem to believe or are in the know that Nigeria is higher than anybody, irrespective of whichever party that you emerge from. See that as it may, Uncle Yori, there is this talk about the National Assembly being a rubber stamp. The reason why people have come to that conclusion is because of the attitude of the legislators themselves. Take, for example, the issue of budgeting. From what I know, not what anybody told me, when the budget is presented, the National Assembly members themselves would connive with the MDA officials that bring the budget. And in the process, when you compromise your integrity, you are not able to oversight the function any longer. Your guest talked about procurement, a contract that you know you can execute with 2 billion. You bloat it to 10 billion and shared the balance. How will you have the authority to tell that contractor to perform if he refuses to perform and take the money away?
Okay. All right, Mr. George.
The honorable member.
I think I understand. I want to give the honorable member a chance to sort of respond to that, but thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. Honorable Agwacha, that is a concern. Yes, although sir. I have heard parliamentarians deny it vehemently, you are fresh, but you're a Nigerian, so you know what we have been saying. What would you say to that particular commentary? Bearing in mind that you don't have any experience yet about how it goes in there.
I don't have any experience yet. Just like about 284 other parliamentarians who are fresh coming into the National Assembly. And we are determined to do things different. We are determined to change the narrative by being patriotic first. My view of governance these days is to say Nigeria first. Nigeria is over partisan politics. Nigeria should be, us putting Nigeria together means that it has to be a collaborative effort across all political divides to come to say that some of the mistakes that have been made in the past, that we will no longer toe those lines to make some of those mistakes. So that's why I'm hoping that Tajuddin and Abbas, in the manner that we have collaborated, to give him a resounding endorsement, the same thing with Benjamin Carlo, that they can now set the tone and the direction. If they're going to work with the executive branch, there's nothing absolutely wrong with that. Okay. I expect that we should have harmony and synergy with the executive branch for the benefit of Nigerian people.
Indeed.
For me, I am most grateful for the opportunity that my constituents have given to me to come to Abuja to represent and to speak for them. But I'm going to speak for them from positions that are objective.
Okay.
Positions that are objective and positions that will enhance their well-being and enhance the well-being of my great state of art.
Another viewer, Mr. Yakub in Dokwemu, has called in. Fine morning to you, Mr. Yakub.
Yeah, once again, good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling.
And good morning to your guest.
Honorable Agwacha.
Good morning. Good morning, Yakub.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I totally agree with Mr. George. You see, the House of Representatives, they did a fantastic election yesterday than the Senate House. As far as I'm concerned, this is the time whereby the Senate also needs to do. Moving forward, this one as far as going. Moving forward, we Nigeria need to know who somebody voted for. Because you cannot call yourself a Senate as a mature as Senate is. Are they trying to be saying that they are afraid of somebody or something? Because this is a democracy. Let people know who you go for. But if you're also saying that, House of Representatives, and then some other guys there, when they were campaigning, some of them made a great Mr. Yori. When you were campaigning, you'll be telling people that I will try to build a school, I'll build a road, which is not your primary responsibility. Number one, Chief-Yori, with House of Representatives, I want to mention two things quickly. Chief-Yori, I'm looking forward to somebody to be able to push for a bill that will turn to a law whereby if you are driving on the road and then the security agencies stop you, ask for roadworthiness, Chief-Yori, and then the road is not good. They will be asking for roadworthiness. And then this roadworthiness of a thing, it has been jacked up in price. And then they will be asking for roadworthiness. Meanwhile, our road is not yet operable. So I'm looking for somebody to push for a bill whereby they will put stop to that. Until our road is very good. The second one is NURTW. I'm looking for somebody, especially coming from Lagos, to push for a law whereby we prohibit them to collecting money where we don't know where this money is going to.
Okay, Mr. Yakub, thank you very much. Let me give the Honorable a chance. Honorable Agwacha, the work has started. You've begun to hear from the people already.
A lot of people are angry. So you can expect this from millions and millions of other Nigerians. But a lot of people are as well now expecting that things will be a lot better. All these illegal activities that have been going on previously, I believe that the current executive and the National Assembly can work together, like I said, to relieve Nigerians of the severe hardship that most of them are facing.